Blog Talk Radio.
Good evening, everybody. It's your boy J Rowe here with GFT Radio Show. Tonight is Thursday, September 29th, 2016. I got my girl Sunny here with me. Sunny, say what's up.
Hey, guys.
All right. We've got a good show for you guys tonight. We're going to be talking about trending topics. Before we do that, I want to invite callers to call in. The phone lines open up at 10:15. So if you want to call in, you got anything you want to talk to us about or anything you want to comment on, the phone number is 657-383-1155. You can also visit our website, www.gftradioshow.com. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, check the Facebook page, GFT Radio Show. Instagram, GFT_radio show, and Twitter, also GFT Radio Show. Google us, and you'll be able to find all of our information. But like I say, we're going to be talking about trending topics. I got my girl Sunny here. Clint's out. Hopefully he'll be calling in later. Hopefully we get a chance to hear from him. But, we're just going to hop right into it. Trending topics. We've had a lot going on these last couple of weeks. I mean, we had a good show last week. We really didn't get a chance to do trending topics. We usually just do like a wrap-up and trending topics once a month, but we kind of got away from that. But right back into it. So you got anything in particular you want to talk about for this trending topics?
There is so much we could talk about trending topics.
So much. I mean...
Yeah, I definitely think I know at some point we're going to catch on the presidential debate. But I want to get to this one, but I want to talk about this one. Did you see the video with the little girl at that town hall meeting for, was it North Carolina?
No, I did not.
Okay, I think it was North Carolina. Don't quote me on that. I don't remember I believe it was North Carolina, but it was they basically had a town hall meeting about all the recent killings, or the cops killing a lot of black people. And they let the kids speak out at this meeting. And you heard various kids get on stage. They were crying, talking about how they're afraid, that they're not going to see their mom and dad next day and blah, blah, blah. And it was one girl. She was, I believe, 7. She was been on a lot of local news stations, like her portion. And she basically was crying and saying it's a shame that we have to we're standing, we're doing all these protests because it's a shame that we're not treated like other races, and she just said that she wanted black people to be treated like everybody else, and she tired of going to graveyards, and how she don't know if her mom and dad or our mom and dads are going to be making home, and basically she's scared for us as a race because we gotta a lot of kids are losing their parents because of police feeling threatened or different reasons that the police are killing these people. So, it kind of touched everybody's heart. And it's like out of the mouth of babes. These are kids telling this town, this is how we feel. We feel unsafe. And how it's so many adults speaking out, so many celebrities speaking out, but when the kids speak out, it kind of hits home.
It should hit home, but I know I don't want to say personally, but I know in Trenton there's a lot of violence and things going on. And things happen to the kids. The kids are seeing things. You got kids getting shot. It's not even just Trenton. It's all over the place. Somebody had texted me earlier and was saying that there's a little 6-year-old boy. I don't know if it was this year or last year. I think it was sometime last year. A 6-year-old autistic boy wound up getting shot and killed. He was in the car with his dad, and his dad had fled from the cops and had a shootout. And like I say, it's always some kind of violence that happens to the kids or in front of the kids or with the kids. And it shouldn't get to that point where we have to sit and think, the kids are seeing this and this is what they're thinking and this is what they're doing. You should already be thinking about things like that when it comes to certain issues. You shouldn't have to wait and rely on what they see and what they do and what they hear in order for you to make a change and want to do things different. It's good that she was able to sit there and speak out, but honestly, that's not going to make people change their ways or do anything different. In my opinion, it's not going to make them do anything different.
That's crazy because I just seen this was recently a lady called police because her mentally disabled brother was just be acting erratic, and she called the police. She basically told them that he was unarmed. Of course, he's mentally disabled. He pointed his hand at the police in what looked like a gun gesture, and he was shot and killed. And it's like at this point, like, and somebody wrote, I don't know if somebody wrote it or was asking me, like at this point, if it's a situation between a situation like that, should you call the police? Because if you're calling the police to try to calm someone down that's acting erratic and they happen to be black, and would they end up shot and killed over you trying to get somebody to de-escalate a situation or calm that person down? So it becomes like, are you safe enough to call the cops, or do you feel safe enough to call the cops and know that if you call them, that this person doesn't end up dead within the next couple of minutes?
I think Clint had brought something up. Somebody brought it up before in one of the shows that cops don't de-escalate situations as they used to. They kind of escalate situations, which is what the complete opposite. They're supposed to de-escalate situations, but when cops get in these situations now, the first thing that they do is, turn it up. It goes from 0 to 100, the situation. Not all the time. Like I say, there are still some good cops out there that know how to talk to people and work things out. But like you said, you got to think twice about things now. Like you have like a simple domestic dispute or something small that you think is something small, and you call the cops because you need something settled. You never know what's going to happen when those cops get there nowadays. It can go real smooth, or it can go real left field real quick, and you never know.
And that was the thing. The girl, the guy's sister was just crying and saying, "I told you he didn't have a weapon." And because he made that gesture, he's not confident enough to understand what, he's just acting erratic. He ended up shot and killed. So like I said, it kind of, like you said, it makes people scared. Like if you have a domestic dispute, whether you argue with your spouse or something like that, it's a petty argument. You call the cops, they might not breathe the next. They might not be breathing the next day. So it's it's kind of a real live issue, and I just think that at this point it's going to be to the point where you don't want to call cops, whether it's small or minute. You're going to be worried because it might not go as planned. It might not be as easy, and things like that. But I definitely wanted to touch that because that was like the stick out thing for the week. I know we talked about, police shootings and things like that, but it was just like when you see the kids on TV crying, this is what's happening, it becomes an issue. And even as recent as, I believe this morning I woke up on the news, a little boy walked into elementary school. I forget how old he was. He was attempting to walk into the school to shoot. He shot 2 students, or stabbed them or something like that, and then harmed the teacher. But they found his dad home, shot dead, killed because, but they stopped that situation, and the boy lived, thankfully. I don't know what his race was, but I'm glad that they stopped there and he wasn't injured like him, and he wasn't like shot and killed, but
you're talking about the shooting in, what was that, like South Carolina or North Carolina? I think it was South Carolina.
Yeah, the boy that attempted to walk into the school, and he got like stopped. And I congratulate them; they actually stopped this kid and didn't kill him dead. So I mean, I just think that it needs, like you said, it needs to, or like Clint says many times, these cops need to be trained to de-escalate situations because that situation could have went different too. So that's pretty much what like the core thing stuck out to me. Like it was in the last 2 days that's what's been going on. But definitely this presidential debate, oh, man, did you see it?
I did watch it. It was funny because it was kind of crazy because the game was on. And I didn't even flip back and forth. Like I started watching the game. The game came on at 8:30. The presidential debate started at 9. So I watched the first half hour of the game, and then I went to the presidential debate. It was funny because it started out somewhat cordial, kind of cool, but as things started going on, like, I'm not even a Trump hater, I'm not a Hillary supporter, I'm like neither one at this point, which is kind of crazy because we're getting down to the end of it. But Trump was acting kind of crazy, Hillary was on her wildness, and it was just a circus. The debate was being
real petty that night. It was, and it was funny because the comic they did the next day. They did the comics. We're talking about who told the first lie, and of course it was Hillary. Donald, it's good to be here with you. And everybody's like, that was the first lie, and it's just like it was like clap back season. It started off cordial, and it was straight clap back. But I think that it was almost like, do you want to watch it because it's going to be a circus? If you're going to watch it, watch what happens. And I don't like either one of them too, but I think I think Donald Trump, like we said before, he just says whatever the hell he wants to say. Apparently he was not really prepared for what was going on. He just showed up and did the normal Donald, and for him to and this is the one thing that stuck out to me, several things they were bringing up with him. But my thing was with the tax question, how he basically said that he was smart for not paying taxes, and they locked up my bosses for not paying taxes. How is this man not paying taxes and still free, let alone running for president? And then he's cocky enough to say that, yeah, I didn't pay him because I was smart. If you don't pay your taxes, something go real wrong.
I don't know. A lot of people always say Donald Trump is a loose cannon. He says what everybody doesn't want to say. He has no filter. But I was always told, and I always thought that Donald Trump was a smart guy. For some of the things he does, like some of his practices, they may seem unethical and illegal, and he's up here talking about not paying taxes and things like that. And he's filed for bankruptcy plenty of times, and he's hired all these people and companies to do work for him, and then wound up not paying them. And he said there's got to be reasons why, or maybe he wasn't satisfied. I honestly just think he's he says what he wants. He's a bullshitter, basically. And you can't hire somebody to do some work for you, and they do the work and complete it, and then you talk about you're not satisfied with the work. Come on now, you're Donald Trump.
He was saying a lot of things. He was saying that he didn't say things that he clearly did say throughout the presidential race. He was when they called him out on things, he was just you know what, that's a lie. I didn't say that. And it's no, you did say that. What we do you not remember? And it was funny because Hillary was being really petty, and I loved it. I was dying because she was fact checkers. But it was
one thing I found funny.
He said half the things that she said, he did say. I mean,
yeah.
and even the next day they did the fact checkers. They both exaggerated a lot, but compared to Donald, compare Hillary lied, stretch the truth. They said stretch the truth less than Donald. Donald did it almost 80 times. He just said, no, I didn't say that. I said this. You didn't say. And even, what did you think about his replies to the plight of black folks? Because he was well, later.
Wait, he said what? When he said what?
They were basically asking him how would you stop what's going on between the Black Lives Matter? How they different things with the black people issues that they face. He basically said law and order. He wanted to bring back stop and frisk.
Oh, yeah.
He kept saying it wasn't unconstitutional. Of course, it was found unconstitutional. He basically said what a judge that agreed that it was unconstitutional didn't like cops and blah, 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 blah. And just he wanted to bring back stop and frisk. But even though it's deemed biased, he doesn't think it is.
Yeah, he kept coming up with these, check the numbers and the violence and the crime went down and all the other stuff. And yeah, he's like I say, he's a good bullshit. He's a good bullshitter. He really is. All of that, the stop and frisk and how it got the numbers down and crime went down and all this other stuff. And no, doesn't sound good.
Jabez, hold on. We have a caller. Hold on. Caller, you on the line with GFC Radio.
Hey guys, it's Willie Styles. How y'all doing?
Willie, what up?
Hey, Willie.
Hey, what's going on?
Up?
Oh, not much. Just listening in, enjoying the show so far, and definitely you guys are hitting on some good topics, of course. And I guess the only comment I have, especially with that Bill, what's his name, Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton debate, was about the tax thing and his credibility. And I know that everybody talks about her credibility, so I think it's a battle of credibility now at this point because, like you said, he's been flip flopping a lot lately, and so I think a lot of people are seeing, his inability to be totally transparent like he claims to be.
Well, Willie, who do you think won that first debate?
I mean, based on a lot of the highlights that I saw, I didn't actually watch the actual debate. I'm not a big political person, but I did like to follow the highlights and the comments and things like that. So just based on that, everybody's saying that, Hillary kind of took it away just because of her ability to kind of, I guess, smoothly get through it. I think that's just the experience aspect of it, for one. And then two, he's in this position now where he's trying to win new voters, and he's trying to kind of smooth things over with everybody that he's either offended or has taken some kind of people have taken some kind of offense to him. He's trying to smooth things over, not very well, but he's trying his best to do that. So I think he's now in a position where he's got to be a politician, right? So I think that's where you see the difference in that first debate, is that, she knows how to be a politician. She's a career politician, where he doesn't. He's shoot from the hip. He's loudmouth. He's erratic, random, all that kind of stuff. So, we're seeing
yelling like who debate.
Because that's how he gets his point across. That's how he gets his point across. Like you say, he says what he wants. He has no filter. He does nothing else. Like Willie just say, he's not a politician. He doesn't know how to be a politician. All he knows is how to yell and scream and get his point across until somebody listens to him. And basically that's what they did. Every time Hillary said something and they gave her 2 minutes, and then he got his 2 minutes, and she said something and he wants to say something, he gonna interrupt. He gonna yell. He gonna talk as loud as he wants, as many times as he wants, until he gets to do what he wants to do.
He basically sounds like a spoiled kid. But I think it's funny. What do y'all think they kept Lester home? Poor Lester. They put him on milk cartons.
Yeah, I heard about the. Right. I heard about the issue with that, when everybody was saying that he was getting drowned out, or he wasn't really able to. No,
he absolutely was. Like he was trying to say something, and then Donald Trump would interrupt him, and whatever, Lester. Basically, this is how he was talking over Lester. He didn't care when he started talking. When Lester started talking, he talked over him. Sometimes Hillary did it too.
Oh wow.
It was just like Lester was hanging out. That's what Lester was doing. He was just hanging out.
Yeah, they both did it, but he kind of lost control of that. Like he wasn't that good of a moderator.
Yeah, but I mean Lester, I've seen him do shows. Like he can do regular broadcast and be like the head person. That's great. But I think when it comes to debate, he was not the person to do that, because he's like, I don't want to say he's timid, but he's not going to command that respect. I mean, he tried to, but at the same time, you got Donald Trump like a little baby, and then even Hillary was talking over him. Not as much as Trump was, but she was doing it too.
Yeah, and then like you said, you pointed out is that right, his inability to command them. I can't remember who I think it was the young lady that did one of the debates. I don't know if it was this year or last year or something like that, but she was able to kind of rein the people in. And then I know the guy that did the Republican debate earlier this year had to do the same thing because there were so many people and Donald Trump. And so it was it's I think, like you said, they need to have somebody that's going to be able to really rein them in, shut them down when necessary. I mean, at this point, you got these two big heads that are going at each other, so I think they need to really have somebody who can, overshadow them and be able to say, hey, look, we're gonna stick to the format, or we're gonna ask these questions. We're not gonna, talk over each other, or whatever the case may be, and make them kind of follow the rules of engagement in the debate.
It was funny. The day after the debates came on, at one point during the debates, I remember Donald Trump had said he was working on his temperament, how his temperament was better. And Hillary had that commercial that came on, basically had a whole bunch of clips of Donald Trump telling everybody to get the F out. And he was just going in on everybody. And but in the debate, he talking about he was working on his temperament and how good it was.
He said his temperament was better than hers. First of all, matter of fact, did you watch the after the election on Channel 3? They interviewed his presumptive VP, Michael Pence, started to speak and say that about Donald temperament is better than Hillary's, I swear for God, it seemed like that man chuckled. Like he didn't even believe what he was saying himself. It's like when he said that, the crowd laughed. Like, what? What did you say, psycho? Like, what do you mean? Nobody believed that. Like, if he said that, then that means, I don't know what the hell, but, like, that didn't make no damn sense. Like, for him to even tell that lie. That was the ultimate lie of the night was, I have a better temperament than Hillary Clinton. No, the hell you don't. You are a raging lunatic. I don't want you in front of any foreign leader acting like a damn fool to have us going to a damn war that we don't need to be in because you basically said go ask yourself to somebody that you shouldn't have said it to.
Yeah. I think the whole Trump platform is kind of a sideshow already, right? So I mean, I think a lot of them know that a lot of what they're doing is ridiculous, or you know, they're trying to stay safe every time. I forgot the lady's name who's like his spokesperson, but it's like I don't know what Kool-Aid she drank, but everything she said sounds crazy because she's constantly trying to kind of like, you know, speak in his behalf as like cleaning up all the dirt that he does, all the dumb things that he says, tries to clean it up, or she just jumps on the bandwagon and like rolls with it. I think she was the one that ended up supporting or saying that situation about President Obama being the cause of black people being having, you know, more racism in the last 8 or 16 years. And I'm like, well, he's only been president for, 7.5, 8 years, and she's like, yeah, the last 50 years is all Obama's fault. Like, what? Like, what are you talking about? Like, it's crazy. So it's
it definitely was crazy. Even like, isn't it basically like at this point, like you say, he's ridiculous. He can say whatever he wants, and people are still going to vote for him. Even after the election, they were doing the polls, and people that worked for him were like, yeah, he had a great night. When? Where? Why? How do you figure this? Like, let's be honest. Are y'all being honest? Y'all can't be being honest. You have to be serious about this. Look at what you just saw. You think that he had a great night? When? Because people clapped when he said about Hillary's emails. He didn't even pay taxes. He lied. He was lying and backtracking everything he said. I didn't say that. I didn't say that. Like, it's so many things you said. What do you mean you didn't say it?
Right. It's like all they got on her is well, not all they got, but all they're going to keep bringing up is those emails. They just going to keep bringing up her email. They just going to keep bringing up his not showing his tax returns. And that's just, it's going to get down to that. It's going to be who can stand whose lies and who did worse. Is it her with the emails, or is it him with his taxes?
Yeah, pretty much.
Right. Yeah. Like I say, it's a credibility campaign now. It's all about credibility, and they've been trying to destroy her credibility since the Benghazi attack. So it's they kind of have the head start, and then because of her history of flip-flopping and switching up everything she says, she's definitely in the hole, I think, compared to him, mainly because, too, I think a lot of the things that he says resonates with so many people that, they kind of accept the things that he says, even when he tries to backtrack it, because they feel like the first time he said it was okay, right? I was talking to a guy, he was actually working on my break, so that kind of scared me, but he was telling me, how he was going to vote for Trump and how he was, gung-ho about the things that Trump was saying. And I believe it was something about about not the wall, but it was something else. Whatever it was, basically, it was something that Trump, came back and was trying to smooth over. And, but he was like, I still want him to do this. I still want him to do that. And it's like, well, he's trying to say that he's no longer going to, kind of support these things. And he's like, well, I think he's still the right man for the job. And it's like, okay, no matter what Trump said, people are going to roll with him, right? So they just either they absolutely hate Hillary or they just absolutely, want to see a person like Trump or the person that Trump is portraying at this time to get into office. That's what they want, So no matter what, I think she's in a hole on that part of it. And I don't know if it's just going to take more bringing him down or just her trying to take another direction in order for her to continue to keep her lead in this thing. But I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. You got a topic that touched you this week?
So many things this week. I mean, with all the shootings and just recently on my way to work this morning, the thing with the train crashing. This has been a crazy week.
What happened with the train crash?
I don't know.
I meant to look that up, but I didn't see the actual news bite on that.
The train in Hoboken crashed into the platform earlier this morning. So far, they confirmed.
I was so busy, I didn't get a chance to read it because I had to be in a seminar all day, so I didn't get the chance to catch that up. But I did hear it briefly. So the train crashed in Hoboken?
Yes. They said about 8:30 this morning, a train came into the station too fast, crashed into the platform. Luckily, they said it didn't hit the building, but there was one confirmed dead. Earlier reports that said there was 3 dead, but there was 1 confirmed dead, like 100-something injured. The conductor, engineer, there are 2 different people. I think it was the conductor. He was evaluated at the hospital. He was listed in critical condition earlier today, but then he wound up getting released, and he's cooperating with the investigation. But they said that some type of error, some type of accident or error. They don't know exactly what. They said they're going to have the NTSB out there doing their investigation, and they'll find out what happens in about a week or so.
Yeah,
wow.
That's interesting. Wow. I definitely have to. I definitely when I get to work tomorrow or when I wake up, I'm hoping it should be on the news. Like I said, I really wanted to catch up on the news that I missed because I'm kind of busy this morning, so I didn't get to pay attention. But I did hear that briefly, and I wanted to check it out. But the way my day was set up, it was not happening whatsoever. So, and I was stuck in this crazy cinema all day. So it was just But I definitely want to look into that. But I did hear about that, and I said the other one I heard about the little boy that went to the school and was attempting to shoot a couple people. So.
Yeah. Well, when I heard about the train issue, it kind of shocked me because I was thinking it was similar to the issue that happened here in Detroit recently, a few days back, just north of Detroit. It was in Warren, Michigan. They had a explosive. Somebody put an explosive on the railroad track, and I was like, "Oh, don't tell me they're trying to blow up the railroad system again and doing it in other places." But yeah, it was. Luckily, nobody was hurt or no real damage other than some minor damage to the track was done. But I guess somebody put a pot of some kind of substance out there, blew it up on the track, and luckily the conductor of that train saw the explosion just before his train got there and was able to stop in time. So just a mess.
Wow.
They're saying that it's not. It doesn't appear to be terrorist related, but that's. Still, I guess it's to be determined at this point. If anything else comes of it.
We had this discussion a couple of weeks ago with I think it was with the bombings in New York. That whole terrorist related kind of, I don't want to say overrated, but it kind of is. Like every time something happens, the first thing that they jump to is something terrorist related. I personally think that term is overused. When they had the issue with the shootings in Dallas, with the cop shootings, the first thing they said, was it terrorist related, and then come to find out it was the military kid that was shooting all the people, shooting all the cops out there. Like everything that happens negative or bad, the first thing people come to their mind and say is it terrorist related? Is that what this world has really come to? Jump to that conclusion that everything is terrorist related now?
Well, I think it does lend some light into, like you said, the climate of today's world, because everything that happened in that regard, especially when it's at a larger scale. If it's not one-on-one or a couple of people, I think people are immediately are going to think that, because that's kind of the idea now, right? Everything is a terror. But now, I mean, by the sheer definition of it, it technically is. You know, I think sometimes, like you said, it puts the wrong image on a situation, because the first thing a lot of people, especially from other folks of other persuasions, well, first thing they're thinking is, oh, it must be Islamic terrorism. And it's like, okay, now that's when it gets out of hand, because, you know, a lot of the things that happen here in the United States is usually Caucasians are doing it. It has nothing to do with Islamic, you know, and it has nothing to do with, you know, terrorism as a form of attack against the country or attack against the system. It's more just people just doing wild and outlandish things, right? So definitely to your point, it's not what we would consider terrorism, but it's still at a larger scale, and it's still things that people stereotypically try to put on another culture and claim that it's terrorism until they find out, oh no, it's just another, you know, crazy person that decided to do something wild and outlandish, or take, you know, trying to take a school out, or trying to take out a train and all that kind of thing. But yeah, it's definitely the climate, right? It's definitely what people are thinking, because anytime something major happens, you know, they want us to be on high alert. They want, you know, to shut things down, and it's just more and more. The crazy part to me is that it's happening more and more in the last few years than it's ever happened, at least, you know, that it's been advertised or put out there in the media. So.
Yeah. I have a question. Did you guys hear about the guy that was living in upstate New York, and he was just found not guilty for killing his girlfriend's son? He was a soccer coach. Guy named
I didn't hear about that.
Hillary. Yeah, well, he just got on Wednesday. He just got found not guilty. He lived in a town where it was predominantly white. It was like not that many black people in town. He was dating this woman. Her son, they found her son dead in their house, her apartment, and she assumed that he killed her son. Man, and this happened back in 2011, and he just was found not guilty. And apparently, the town prosecutor and everybody still believes that he killed this little boy. But and it's almost to the point where, like, they're not really looking at anyone else. They just think that he did it, and they upset that basically he was found not guilty.
Yeah, I didn't hear about that. I'm looking at the article now. I guess, yeah, they said that there was no DNA or fingerprint evidence at all. But he said that, or that the district attorney says that they had a strong case based on camera footage showing the boy and the guy on the streets right before the killing. So. Yeah,
well, the guy is at his car, which is like basically they were outside of some type of building complex or something. The boy was on like the sidewalk of the building on his skateboard, just riding by. You see him riding by on his skateboard. The guy is at the end, like at the back of the parking lot, close to the street, in his car, like getting into his car. And because he was the last one to be seen, we're in the same vicinity as the boy, they think that he killed the boy. They didn't. They never had any interaction. Huh?
How did the boy die?
He was choked to death.
Oh.
But the weird part about it is, like, the video just shows the boy, like, skateboarding on the sidewalk, and the guy just happens to be getting in his car. Whatever, I don't know what the building is that they were outside of, but, like, it's almost like being at ShopRite and somebody's skating on the sidewalk to ShopRite, and you're at the far furthest away, like at the back part of the parking lot of ShopRite, almost near the road where you get off that and get out into the, get onto the street and drive. It was like that. Like, that's how far apart they were. But because they were in the same video frame and they were the only two that were seen on camera, that's why they thought that he killed this boy.
Wow.
They didn't talk. You didn't see them approach each other on that video, nothing.
Oh,
so it seemed to be like a circumstantial case, and they just said, okay, you were the last one we saw him near, so you had to have killed him.
Right, yeah. It looks like they're saying that, because of the fact that he's black in a largely white community, that they're, they just trying to go right after him, and like I said, they aren't looking at anybody else. So that's crazy. Yeah,
I thought that was interesting because I watched the video. Like, why would they think he killed this boy? And they're like, only because they had the video. And they showed the video like twice, and I'm like, okay, well, like how do you just assume that somebody killed somebody? Because that's like me being outside of my job building in the parking lot, and somebody kid go riding by, all of a sudden I kill them because they just happen to be riding by on the thing. I'm the only one who saw it on camera. That doesn't make sense. But, you know, I guess that's what got him found not guilty, because it was just like, oh, you know.
Yeah.
But
he was lucky. He was lucky. Yeah, people have gone to jail for a lot less here in this country.
I mean, really.
Yeah.
They had that story today. We had talked about it. I remember bringing it up a while ago. The cop in, I think it was somewhere up North Jersey, Asbury Park. He basically gunned his wife down with his kid in the car.
Wow.
They wound up getting in some argument. You know, he had chased her down. She was fleeing from him, trying to get away from him. There were cops that were actually on another call. She ran up. She not ran up, but she was in the car, and she kind of like drove up to where these other cops were, and kind of like sped over to where they were. The guy, he was a police officer at the time. He gets out the car because the lady had crashed her car like close to where these cops were. He gets out the car. He lets off a couple of shots, shoots his wife while these cops are standing by him, and it's in the area that he works in. So these cops know him. It's where he works, where he lives. So the cops know him. You know, they're telling him to put the gun down, drop the gun, all these other things. He actually reloaded his weapon and wound up shooting her some more while these cops were just standing around watching him do this. And she wound up dying. And all of this is happening while he had I think his daughter was like 7 or 8. She was young, sitting in the front seat of his car. Well, they finally sentenced him to 30 years in prison. That's what he wound up getting. This was just Sergeant Philip Seidel. He was from Neptune. Wound up shooting his wife, and the cops, like I said, cops that were in his area that he worked with were up here, you know, telling them to put the gun down, and it didn't have to go down like this. And not one of them pulled the weapon out and shot at him or anything. While he basically shot his wife, had time to reload and walk up on the car and unload his weapon again. And none of these cops did anything. They just basically stood by while he was doing this, trying to talk him out of it.
But wow. I've not, that's my first time hearing that story, and that's just wow.
Yeah, this happened, I want to say sometime last year. I know we had talked about it. We definitely talked about this at one point.
That's crazy, though. Like, wow. I don't understand.
Yeah, I mean, it's sad when these families are getting, you know, destroyed by this kind of thing. If, you know, somebody decides that they no longer want to be in this relationship, or no longer want to be, want the other person to be in another relationship and all that kind of thing. It's sad. I mean, that just actually happened here in Detroit recently. A young lady's family was killed by the stepfather. I guess the stepfather and her mother were getting are about to get in a divorce or something like that, and he had actually killed his first wife. And after my dog. He had actually killed his first wife and I guess remarried, and ended up about to get a divorce and decided to kill the whole family. And killed all the kids, shot the mother. She was able to survive that, but he killed all the kids, stepchildren, and his 2 young daughters. And
what was that? Was that here? Or was that the guy that killed?
It was here near Detroit in Dearborn Heights, Michigan. Yeah, it was this past week. It just happened. If he had killed his 2 daughters in a car, then he shot the teenage stepchildren, and then shot the mother.
Wow.
Yeah.
I thought I heard something like that.
But the sad part about it all was that he had already served time for killing his first wife. So it was like he just was repeating the cycle again himself. You know, killed his first wife, then now he's killing the new family, and you know, it's just a nightmare. You know, it's crazy. I mean, I don't know what the story was, the backstory of why she got with this guy who killed his first wife, but it was, you know, he ended up doing the same thing. They said he suffered from mental illness, but you know, I don't know what had them, you know, how they ended up together and ended up having another family.
Yeah, that's crazy. I don't know what the world's coming to right now. I really don't. If somebody don't want you, leave them the hell alone. Like, you don't got to do all the extra stuff, you know?
Right.
I think it's just getting out of hand
working.
nowadays. I don't think you should kill somebody because they don't want you. Like, I know you're hurt and I know you're upset, but just leave people alone and move on with your life. You can find somebody that deserves you and things like that. Like, I don't understand why people just do the things that they do, and it's just getting out of hand. Like we discussed last week, the violence that has been going on in the last couple months is getting crazy. It's getting crazy.
Yeah. Every week it gets worse. Every week.
Yeah. Who's washing dishes? Somebody scraping something.
Nah.
You over there cleaning the house.
Like cleaning dishes.
You over there cleaning the house.
Buffering the floor. I don't know. I'm judging y'all. Whoever it is, I'm judging you because I don't know what you're doing, but it's like you buffering floors or scraping the bottom of your toes. That I don't know why your toes sound like that. Nothing. I'm good.
Oh man.
Huh?
I'm not throwing nobody under the bus, but it's not me.
It's only two other people. It could be.
I'm just saying. For clarification purposes, guys, it is not moi. You remember what you're doing? Scrape your toenails?
Where's Clint at when you need him?
No, Clint is in Vegas having fun and tweeting about the show. Clint is living. I want to be where Clint at. I want to be walking around in the middle of the night. Like, what time is it in Vegas? Like, what is he doing right now? That's what I want. I'm nosy. Are you drunk beyond repair? Like, you got to be sober. It's still early.
Yeah, it's still.
What is it,
it's
like
still early there. It's
two
like
or 3 hours.
It's 3 hours behind, so it's like 7:45 right now over there. So yeah, so he's just probably getting started again.
Okay, he needs to start his night. Yeah, I'm seeing Clint. Okay, Clint, we're little judges that you're on vacation. If you're gonna be drinking, drink for us. What am I? Yeah. Forget you.
Tell him have
a
couple shots for me. I'll be down there in a couple weeks. In about 4 weeks. I'll be down there, so I'm looking forward to that. So
really, you always traveling. Nobody likes you either.
It's crazy because Clint just told us last week.
Yeah, Clint told us he's I'm not going to be there.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
No, but let me have.
I'm giving y'all a heads up. I don't even regularly do the show, but I'm gonna let y'all know now. I'll be down there in November, but I'm going to D.C. next week to check out the new museum, the African American History and Culture.
I definitely want to go to that museum. They say they asked. I watched TMZ and they were talking about. Oprah was saying that the Emmett Till area is like the best area. It's like the most she loved. That was her favorite area. So I definitely I love museums. I can't wait to go. I went to the Blacks and Wax Museum back when I was younger, but I definitely want to go to this one. I also been to the Smithsonian, but I really want to go to this one. Like, I want to see what it looks like. I want to take my daughter. I want to have that, mom, daughter, bond, and let her, her what all this stuff is. I mean, she follows and it's bad because I have her watching all these black things. And then, she's seeing all these shooting and killing, and she's like, I hate white people. And I'm like, no, Dad, and white people are racist.
You don't plan on making her a militant, huh?
But I'm not making her a militant. I just want her to be aware of her history. And she's 14. She's aware of what's going on. She sees the news. It's like I see the news. And it's like, you know, it's a scary situation, and like for her to be in her teenage years, and like now she's feeling that way. It's like I don't want her to be like a racist. I don't want her to be acting crazy. I don't want her to, you know, do anything extra. But at the same time, it's like, how do you explain it to your teenagers? They're not safe. You know, she could be going somewhere, and it could be like, remember those kids that went to that pool party in that predominant neighborhood, and all of a sudden the cops are dragging them, macing them, and stuff like that. Well, I would never want that to happen to her. And I already know the type of attitude she has. She's going to be fighting back, and God forbid I never want to get that call at my side of the bed, but I want her to understand her history. She watches movies, and I explain things to her. She watched, you know, Selma. She watched different things, and I explain these things. She has questions, and I answer them. But at this point, she just like, I hate white people. And I'm like, no, Zari, don't. Don't be like that.
And you know, I go through that too with my kids. And there's a stark contrast where my younger kids, you know, they're in school with you know, other races. I believe the middle school is predominantly white. The elementary school is a fair mix. And so, you know, so they see the good, and then, you know, but I do expose them to certain things, and they see the news, and they know, you know, they understand what's going on. So they see the bad, right? And so, you know, I think right now they're still forming their opinions. But then my older kids, especially my second oldest daughter, you know, she's my little militant. She's definitely you know, pro-black. She's, you know, does a natural thing, and she's very proud of her heritage as being African American and being Cuban American. So she's, you know, she kind of has that, you know, I won't say she's anti-white, but she definitely has some animosity, right? Because she's seen so much.
Yeah,
she's experienced racism.
That's exactly what my daughter is.
Yeah, and she's experienced racism because she's, you know, being natural and having locks and things like that. She's gotten, you know, the dirty looks and the following and all that kind of thing. So, you know.
What about that? Did you hear about that though?
Yeah,
with
the band.
It's like about dreadlocks.
So that right there, that whole topic, you know, it's definitely something that you know I followed because it's, you know, it kind of affects us in the corporate America, and you know, and that was one thing she had a big comment on because she wears them. She works for Marriott, and, you know, luckily for her, there's no issue there. But you know, that whole conversation too, you know, I mean, it's definitely discrimination to a point. You know, every company has to make their own decisions on how their employees need to dress, how they need to be groomed, how they need to be, you know, look in front of their customers and their clients. But when you start to exclude a group of people because of the type of hairstyle that they have or the type of look that they have, you know, you start to become exclusionary. And then when the court system says that that's okay, that makes it, you know, that takes it to a whole other level, because it's not only about giving that company the right, but it also creates this atmosphere where other people can join in on that, right? And instead of saying, oh, well, before we thought it was okay, but now that the court system says that we can exclude it, we're going to exclude it, you know. So now it creates this bandwagon effect, right? So that's the only thing I fear, is that other companies are going to jump on that bandwagon and say, hey, the court system gave them the out, we're going to take the out as well and not allow this, you know. But I think that people also have to be kind of conscious of the fact that, you know, that's corporate America for you. You know, they're going to want people to conform to a certain look, conform to a certain standard. We were just discussing this regarding this meeting we're going to in D.C., where even within our company, our day-to-day work environment is, they call it smart casual, which is more of a less than business casual. So we can wear jeans, we can wear gym shoes, but we got to wear polos. We can't wear, like, T-shirts with logos and all that kind of stuff. So when we go to this meeting, though, instead of being smart casual or business casual, we're wearing suits, right? So it's like, you know, a lot of us have gotten used to not wearing suits. Then it's like, you know, do we go and just show up smart casual because that's normal for our day-to-day, or do we conform and do suits like 2 years past with this meeting? So, you know, every company has its ways and its, you know, its rules of engagement, and you have to kind of follow what that is, because, I mean, hey, at the end of the day, we all need a paycheck, right? But, or do you take a stand so that you can try to affect change. So you have to find that fine line, I think, and make that decision based on your situation, based on what's happening. Don't just start protesting because it's happening, but decide with your company or with your situation if that's the best route.
Yeah, but hairstyles though, I mean, you banning dreadlocks, and like, was there a particular reason? Is it the look? Is it is it not business casual?
That's pretty nice.
I mean, what happens if they start banning fades? Like, somebody can't have a fade, or you can't have a part in your head or something like that. Like, I mean, she said. I mean, some people have dreads, and it looks more professional.
Right, and that's what it came down to. Was the well, at least for her lawsuit, was that, hey, she can come in and her dreads can look, clean and presentable. I think she had a pullback or something, and it's not like they're just all over the place. And the company, I guess, they were saying that, dreadlocks in general can look messy. I think that's what their term was, is that dreadlocks can be messy. And so that's why they were banning them. So, like you said, where's the line drawn? Is it that dreadlocks aren't professional, or is it that her dreadlocks aren't professional? Is it, dreadlocks in general, or is it a particular type of dreadlock? So I think it all comes down to perception, and unfortunately, the court system didn't allow a line to be drawn. They just kind of kept it vague, and I think that's where we're going to start to get in trouble. Is that people, will be able to make these decisions haphazardly. And like you said, I mean, where does it stop then? Will it eventually make it to another type of hairstyle? Will it eventually make it to a type of, hair culture? Like you said, for us men, are we going to be allowed to have, our hair in, small afros like some guys still wear, or being able to have braids as a guy versus, having a clean cut, that kind of thing. I mean, I wear a beard with, I got some hang time on my beard now. Am I going to be, admonished because I have a beard and not have it, clean cut, or have it, close to my face? Like, it's too vague, I think, basically. And I think they have, but again, I think it's going to all come down to the companies and how they react and what they do over time.
I'm looking at this article on Vibe.com, and it was saying when the lady asked her what the problem was, Ms. Wilson said, talking about the lady's dreadlocks, quote, "They tend to get messy, although I'm not saying yours are, but you know what I'm talking about." So basically, hers weren't messy, but you're saying that they tend to get messy. Like, I don't know.
It was a generalization. They were making a generalization about dreadlocks in general, and it had nothing to do with the actual woman's dreadlocks. It was just, they were saying that in general, dreadlocks have this potential, right? Which, like I said, that makes it way too vague, because it wasn't her. It was their perception of dreadlocks.
They also said they had a male employee was asked to cut off his dreadlocks in order to get a job with this company.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's all about the perception that the company wants to present, and wrong or right. I think people have to make that decision based on the job they're trying to get, right? Like, do you want to be the face of this company based on the face that they want to give, right? I mean, I personally always feel like I don't want to work for a company that doesn't value me as an employee, but wants to put their value in what's the word, and superficial things, or in a situation where, like, I worked for a company at one point where the manager that I worked for was very lazy, and she was mean to her employees, and so I tried my best to get from up under her and work for another person in the company. And when they didn't give me that option, I quit. I said, hey, there's other companies out here. There's other departments out here. There's other things I could do. I don't have to work for that person, right? I don't want to work for somebody I can't get along with. So I left that company. I found another company, was very happy, and ended up actually, having a better experience at that other company. So, we're not limited for our options. Well, hopefully, if you have the right skill sets and the right job market around you, but we're not limited. We don't have to work for that particular company that says dreads are bad, because there's 2 to 5 more companies in the same business or the same industry that might say dreads are okay. So go work for one of them. But if that's your only option, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, my wife just told me that one of her clients cut his hair off so he can get a job at a company. So I mean, I guess if that's the company that you really want to work for, and that's what's going to pay these bills and what's going better for you, and I guess that's what you want to do then.
Yeah, but I just don't. I think that's like where you're not really drawing a line. You're dictating and things. I get it that you want professional, but it's just not like when you go to the military. That's what it's clean cut. They want you to be a certain way, but it's just when you're a regular job, it's like, what are you talking about? Like, as long as you're not coming to work looking dusty and not professional, or not looking clean, your hygiene's not 100 or put together, then it's a possibility they might say something to you. But when it goes across hairlines, that's different. You're already doing and stuff like that, but dictate hairstyles, really.
I got something to say about that real quick, because before we even do that, though, you said the Army. There's plenty of ways to get around that. I mean, these guys in the Army are getting shaving profiles. I've seen people in the Army with beards, full mustache. I've actually seen somebody with a painted on beard, looking like they about to go to the club after they got done formation, like straight black paint with the sharp lines on their face. I mean, they have I want to say he's a sheik. He's a captain in the Army. He's an Army sheik, and he has like the whole full beard, mustache. He got the turban and everything. So, I mean, there's definitely ways around it now. So you can't even really say that use the Army as an example nowadays, because I mean, I was out there. I had a beard. I had the full beard, mustache when I was overseas. Even when I wasn't overseas, I came back home. I had the full beard, mustache. So it happens. Definitely happens.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, like I say, I think the problem becomes when the court system is starting to allow this and to be so vague. Allow this kind of thing to happen where it's saying that this is okay. Instead of saying no, you know what, there's got to be a line drawn. You can't exclude this because X, Y, and Z is happening over here. If the person is, like you said, looking professional, they're clean, the hair is tied up or whatever the case may be, then let it be that. Because I mean, are they going to tell a white woman that her straight hair is not acceptable, and she's going to have to cut her hair because white hair does tend to get messy. You know what I mean? So it's not. You can't exclude a subset of people because of your perception of their hairstyle. When, hey, we got a perception of your hairstyle, and we got a perception of this person's hairstyle, but we shouldn't start excluding people because of these perceptions. If this person looks fine, let them be fine, and let them be the way they are. I think the court really should have put their foot down on that and said, look, you have to have a fine line, and you can't be so vague and running on stereotypes. You can't run on stereotypes.
Definitely. We sorry to cut you off, but we're running close to the end of the show. We got a couple minutes left. This conversation can definitely carry on next week or the next coming weeks, or we can put this on the pages, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. But before we wrap up, I just want to give everybody the information again. Check us out, GFT Radio Show, on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You can email us any comments, questions, or concerns that you have. Log on to our site, blogtalkradio.com/GFT Radio Show to catch this episode and all of our previous episodes. Everybody has their own personal page they want to put out.
Go ahead, Willie.
Yep, this is Willie Styles from AskWillieStyles.com. I'm Willie Styles with a Z on every social media site. I even have Snapchat now, but I'm actually Willie.Styles on Snapchat. somebody took my name. So catch me.
Well, y'all know I am Sunny_D on Instagram and Twitter. You can find me on my personal blog. I'm actually doing a 15-day blog challenge. Willie, you should join me. But it is unreservedlyme.wordpress.com. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Clint, I'm going to give out Clint's information. Clint is E. Trenton Grew Me on, Twitter. He is King's Truth on, Instagram. You can find him on his blog at kingstruth.com. I don't know his Snapchat. I'm sorry.
I think it might be King's Truth. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure his information is on his blog. You can always check there. And you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter at JRose609. Just look it up and you'll find all my information. Like I say, get to the GFT Radio Show on Facebook. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, check us out there. Check us out on YouTube. And that's about it.
SoundCloud.
What's that?
I said we're also on SoundCloud, but I don't have all the episodes on there, but some of our episodes are on SoundCloud.
Oh, yeah, it's the SoundCloud if you want to check us out on there. But if you can't find it there, go to the site, blogtalkradio.com/GFT Radio Show.
All right.
All right, so I think we're going to wrap it up now. Willie, appreciate you calling in, hanging out there with us.
Oh, no problem.
Yes, Willie. Thank you.
Anytime.
All right.
All right, so we'll catch y'all next week.
Bye, guys. In the words of Clint, see you in 7 days.
See you in 7 days.
Yeah, bye.
All right.
All right, bye-bye.
Record better audio anywhere with Motive digital microphones from Shure. Easy-to-use options like the MV88 plug directly into your phone or computer and include a free app. Create studio-quality sound for podcasts, music, and videos. Visit Shure.com to learn more.
Saving money is about to get even easier because a brand new Walmart Supercenter is opening soon near you. Now you can find low prices you can trust every day on all your grocery favorites, like fresh produce, quality meats, and more. Plus, let our pharmacy take care of all your prescription and over-the-counter medication needs. With Walmart, saving is simple.
Your new Walmart Supercenter is scheduled to open on October 5th at the corner of Nottingham Way and Route 33 West in Hamilton.
Save money, live better, Walmart.